Hello. So today has been a whole ordeal, but it's fine. I'm exhausted, but it's fine. Excuse me. Anyway, so today I got several gifts from the ever generous Twitty. So thank you again, Kathy. I appreciate it so much. So much. Amazon pulled up, and my dad was like, Amazon is here. Who they for? I was like, oh, I didn't order anything. And my dad was like, is it from the wish list? And I was like, if it's for me, then it has to be because I didn't order nothing and it was. So thank you. Excuse me. I'm so tired, but I had to use at least one of these. So I opened up the Mystical Manga Tarot. The Mystical Manga. I could use these with the Kawaii Tarot. Oh, who is this? The Harlequin. And so I'm just gonna pull a few cards. Pull a few. Oh wow. And we'll see what's up. Oh, I like the sun. Or whatever that is. Hey Holly. How are you? Excuse me. I mean, I've been up since I've been up. So I woke up at like 5 something. I think it was almost 5:55 maybe when I woke up, and I've been up ever since. I've been up ever since. Where did my day go? Oh. Oh, it's the Fool. This is an interesting Fool card because we find the Fool well on his journey, not necessarily at the edge of a cliff, with a larger dog. These are the card backs. Glad to hear it. I'm trying to like open it. And then the other decks I'll try to show tomorrow. I don't like using this, but I'll use my teeth real quick. Mm-hmm. You just woke from a nap. What? Wish I took a nap. But it's bedtime here. It is time for sleep and give expensive. Mm-hmm. 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 Les needs a lawyer, but diamonds are a girl's best friend. Mm-hmm. 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 I think our birthday was yesterday. Mango cold. So today I got on Facebook and I saw that. So November 4th, I claim it as my spiritual birthday because November 4th, 2020, November 4th, 2018 is when I decided to get my life together. But November 4th, 2014 is when my great grandfather passed. And I didn't even realize they were on the same day. Different years. So 4 years later, I got my life together. I started getting my life together more intentionally. 3 years after that was yesterday. So 7 years ago, I lost my great grandfather. And I remember one time I was at school and one of my friends had gifted me a calendar of dudes, um, like models. And my grandpa came to campus to pick me up maybe one day. And my great grandfather, his father, rode with him. And I didn't think about it, and the calendar was left on the wall. I was like, oh my gosh. I don't even know if he would have cared, honestly. Just send me like a few cards. Mystical manga tarot. What's the first cards you want me to see from you? If you had to set a tone for yourself in 3 cards at the most, what would it? Oof. Okay, girl. Interesting. The first card out is the King of Swords. It's interesting because of the dream I had with all the Kings of Swords, I guess. Also, the King of Swords is just interesting to be like the deck is like King of Swords. Aquarius? Who's at the bottom of the deck? The Eight of Wands. I'm actually going to read both of these from the book to see what the book is like. Oh, I wonder, wonder. Oh, I do, I do. They do the majors last. What's in the wonder ball? Who knows what surprises the wonder ball can hide? Can you see that? No. Well, this. Oh, okay. I'll read the whole thing. There you go. King of Swords. The divinatory meaning. The King of Swords believes that it is his duty to serve the greater good by wielding logic, reason, and intelligence. He tries to make the best decisions he can based on the facts and past experience. He sometimes forgets to factor in emotions and sensitivity to others. He understands the power of words, and therefore he can infuriatingly, if I can read, he understands the power of words, and therefore he can be infuriatingly silent because he won't speak until he is sure of what he wants to say. Advice: gather all the information you can and process it logically. Make sure you are clear on what you think before you take action. Reversed, it's snobbishness, paranoia, judgmental, controlling, and cruelty. Meanness. Make sure you are clear on what you think before you take action. But the bottom of the deck is the Eight of Wands, which is a card of pretty immediate action. Let's find the Eight of Wands. Because in the way I'm holding it now, it's like the 8 wands are heading like to the King of Swords. What was the Time Master with Soul Retrieval? The reason why this feels like a Time Master energy, it's because it's almost like these 8 wands pause in midair while he's sort of like thinking. Almost like time stops. Or his perception of his awareness of the passing of time heightens. And so it appears to slow even though it's moving the same. It's like when adrenaline is in your system and you're like hyper aware of whatever. I don't know. It's hard to describe, okay? All the ducks are in a row and ready to fly. Events have been set in motion and moving quickly to an outcome. The end result should not be a surprise because it is the logical conclusion. And then we just had the king of logic. Okay, all right. All the ducks are in a row. This is the Eight of Wands. All the ducks are in a row and ready to fly. Events have been set in motion and moving quickly to an outcome. The end result should not be a surprise because it is the logical conclusion. Whatever steps have been taken, they will continue on perhaps faster than anticipated and achieve the intended effect. Trying to stop things at this point could work, but would cause utter chaos. You've done all the work. This is the advice. You've done all the work, so just step back and let things play out. Reverse is chaos, confusion, and delays. So, but what did it say? The King of Swords analyzes things before he takes action. I want to read that again. He understands the power of words, and therefore he can be infuriatingly silent because he won't speak until. Nah, not that one. The advice was gather all the information you can and process it logically. Make sure you are clear on what you think before you take action. So I like this because it's a logical set of events, a logical course of events that play out. Maybe faster than we anticipated, but it still follows the logic. And this is about taking the time to think. So the King of Swords is the first energy. Oof. Does that mean that you don't care about feelings, or is this deck like F your feelings? Because we may get along right now. Nah, I'm kidding. Or am I? With the Vulcan, what? It's almost midnight. I need to go to bed. Excuse me. So, what is the second card you'd like to show me, or the second thing you'd like to introduce yourself as? Question mark. I don't know, girl. Card number 2. That was interesting. Okay. So maybe it's not saying F your feelings. It probably definitely is not saying F your feelings. Because the Ten of Cups is the second card that came out. And the bottom of the deck is the Three of Pentacles. So this is almost like, I'll read these two, but It's almost like, oh, rainbow cups. I know I didn't finish that thought. Okay, Ten of Cups. Those are pentacles. Divinatory meaning. The Suit of Cups, like a fairy tale, ends with the happily ever after card. In this moment, the hard work of fostering healthy, loving relationships culminates in a sense that all is right with the world. In addition, looking from this vantage point at the future is glorious. You are all sharing the same beautiful dream and ready to take the next step together. The future may bring challenges, but you know together you can face anything. Advice. Really enjoy this feeling, imprint it in your heart, and make sure your loved ones know without a doubt how you feel. You can draw on this feeling for strength during hard times. Reversed, showing a false front, family arguments, broken promises, or vows. So I love that it talks about you're all sharing the same beautiful dream and ready to take the next step together. The future may bring challenges, but you know together you can face anything. And again, it's like it feels like it picks up it picks up on the energy of the Three of Pentacles in that way. Because this is where we're actually working together to build something. But this is at the foundation or at the birth of whatever the thing is. But let's read that one too. Oh, snap, excuse me. What? Girl, that's too much. Oh no, there's majors in the front. Then it talks about the fool's journey through the major arcana. Cute work, love that. And blank pages at the back of the book, just in case you want to like journal or something. I don't know. Three of coins. The divinatory meaning. Working as a team can be so satisfying if everyone brings their best, unique skills to the table and checks their egos at the door. People have different abilities, so by letting dreamers dream, planners plan, and makers make, great things can be achieved. This could also represent a situation where you are using various skills of your own to do something wonderful. Whether solo or in a team, multiple talents are required to pull this off. Remember, this is the advice. Remember that everyone is on the same team, working toward the same goal. Bring your best self to the project and help facilitate smooth teamwork. Reverse, this is shoddy work, team not pulling together, not being recognized for contributions, and working on an unworthy project. So, the King of Swords, especially coming off of this Three of Pentacles, it's an energy of what can I do? What am I good at? And how does that contribute to the creation of everything? I feel like I didn't explain that well, but it's fine. My brain fails me. as the nighttime hour draws more present because it's already late. But I had to show at least one of these. So the last card, what is the last thing? Mystical Manga Tarot. I think I'm gonna like the energy of this deck. One last card. Now this one didn't fall on the table. It flipped over inside the deck. And it might have been a few cards. The last thing. And that's the end. Here it is. Oh, it is one card. It's the Seven of Wands. Oops. The Seven of Wands flipped over. Bottom of the deck. Believe it or not, the bottom of the deck is the Three of Pentacles again. But this time, the Seven of Wands came out. It feels like this is the action that the king decides to take. All right, thanks, Holly. I'm just like, I feel like usually I try to explain it in like at least two different ways, if not like three, just to like whatever. But tonight I'm just like, this is it. So let's see what the Seven of Wands says officially. Seven of Wands. Divinatory meaning. Defense. Some things are worth protecting. In this situation, something is worth standing up for. Yourself, an idea, someone else. Whatever is being attacked deserves someone to watch its back. First of all, because the thing has worth. Second, because it's not a fair fight. The attack is either coming from several fronts or is a combined effort. Standing alone for what is right isn't easy, but it is better than the alternative. Advice: know what is right in this case and have the courage to take a stand. Reversed, it's overreacting, being easily offended, picking a fight, and defending the wrong thing. Defending the wrong thing, like working on an unworthy project. These are upright, not in reverse, but that reminds me of when I was on vacation in Michigan. And every time I thought I was asking something profound or whatever, and spirit was just like, well, does it matter? And I was like, yeah. I mean, no, but yeah. And it was so much like, does it matter or it doesn't matter? Like, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter which came first. It doesn't matter what happened first, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, wow. Oh my gosh. These almost look like they could be the same person. But the Ten of Cups would be later on down the line. Because the bottom of the deck was the Three of Pentacles. It's the Three of Pentacles both times. Maybe also there is someone who stands as the role of the figurehead question mark. Like when it was like dreamers dream, planners plan, makers make, doers do, defenders defend. And maybe this King of Swords energy, it's almost pulling on that the thing in the Three of Pentacles where it's like maybe you're pulling on like several of your own talents. Because it's almost like it may be showing which sides or parts of ourselves would be helpful in a certain situation. And when it would be, it reminds me, and it came out recently, it reminds me of Barbiel, Angel of Scorpio, when it's like there comes a time where we must fight because something is worth defending and protecting and standing up for. It's worth it's like just holding space. It's worth the space that it occupies. And so we have to hold that space. Okay. So I guess, are there any spreads in here? Is that Animal Crossing? No, that's Pokemon Ranch. That's what that game is. I was like, I know that's a game I've played. It's Pokemon Ranch. Ace of Coins, Six of Wands, or Six of Coins. Ace of Coins, Six of Coins. I just saw the Six of Coins in the book. I actually saw the Ten of Cups in the book before the card came out, too. When I was flipping through the pages, I was like, oh, that's the Ten of Cups. And then it came out. I just saw the Six of Coins. When I was looking for the Three of Coins, probably. So, oh, wait, I was going to check and see if there are any spreads in here. There has to be some kind of spread, right? Llewellyn? What? This is a Llewellyn publication. What I did like about that, though, was that we got 3 different suits. Well, technically, we got 4. First, it was the suit of air, then the suit of water with, well, first it was the suit of air with fire at the bottom of the deck. Then it was water with earth at the bottom of the deck, and then fire with earth at the bottom of the deck. So a nice balance. I mean, it was the King of Swords, so it's like court air energy. The Ten of Cups, which is as complete as we get, outside of the court system. And then the Six of Wands, which is over halfway. Well, it's the position of victory typically, right? I don't like doing outcomes. That's not my jam. What is number 1? The current. It's fine. I was gonna use a spread, but I'll just shuffle it and then I'll read it and we'll see. We'll go from there. Thank you again, Twitty. I was extremely pleasantly surprised. Okay, anything for the collective or for anyone who just something. And if we resonate with it, we resonate with it. If we don't resonate with it, we don't. So enough about you. How can you assist us? please. The card that came out, it's the Page of Wands with the Empress at the bottom of the deck. Empress energy I talked about earlier today, I think. And the Emperor is behind it with the Nine of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. Interesting. Ooh, girl. This is a whole mess. This is a whole mess. Girl, does it work its way to the bottom though? Okay, against all odds. The bottom of the deck is the Empress. We'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that. Okay. So the card that came out is the Page of Wands. I talked about the Empress earlier because there was a dream carrier energy of the Empress. It was coming out kind of sort of because of the reading before last, the one that says something about like transplanting, whatever. It's like something grows within us to the point where it's ready to be given to the world. And after it's birthed into the world, it grows in its own way, right? It learns the world for itself. And so there is a part of the Empress that has to know when to release to the world, but there's also a part of the Empress that has to know when to nurture oneself, to nurture that which grows within oneself. And the Page of Wands, it's almost feeling like the child of the Empress and the Emperor. And their story is complicated. That's why I was like, okay. Like Nine of Wands sums it up perfectly. The Emperor almost reminds me of the King of Swords. Because look at him. The way he's looking at his scepter. And the Empress sitting between these. Oh, gosh. The Page of Wands wanted to fall on the Page of Wands almost fell on the floor. But I barely got it. Ugh. It feels like the High Priestess because she's sitting between the two pillars. But it also feels like there's a power that she knows how to use that he doesn't yet necessarily. Because look at how she holds her scepter and look at how he holds his. But that's the King of Wand or the King of Swords energy. It's logic. It's something that makes sense. He's not even wearing his crown. See, his crown is here. And it's not on top of his head. See, that's why this deck was like, I'm a King of Swords deck, my guy. Because even this Emperor is like, Emperor, what do you mean? It's almost like the Princess Bride, but like you are the long lost heir to some throne, and you're like, wait, I don't know nothing about ruling. And this Empress is like, I'll teach you. Now, usually there's an Ankh with the Emperor, but this reminds me in the Tarot Apocalypsis. There's a lot of feminine energies that are kingmakers. It's not a king that makes a woman his queen, it's a queen that makes a man her king or makes a man the king. Her sovereignty, her birthright, her right to rulership or leadership or whatever is extended to somebody to make them a king, but the power is hers. And in that, it actually reminds me, or it makes me think of an anime, Tate no Yusha no Nariagari, The Rising of the Shield Hero, because that is a matriarchal society. So the princesses and the queens actually have the power. And I don't want to spoil it or give too much away. But I mean, it's like literally episode one where they're like, we're a matriarchal society. Like women are like important, like, and they're respected. And but then at one point he's like, oh, the king like married into the family. Like the way the king is acting, you would think that the power was his, and it's not even. Slow power trip. So in that, I mean, it's perfect for this Page of Wands energy, actually, because then they would hold similar energy, right? Because the Page of Wands is all about discovering oneself and this space of passions and desires and what excites us and what allows more of the truth of us, or what allows, it's like that flow space, what puts us in that flow space and how we create and what is the impact of our creation if we choose to have any, even if we don't necessarily consciously choose to have it. Maybe we still see the impact of our creation beyond what we've intended. And so it's like just like how that 10 of cups was an energy that was like almost like the happily ever after, but we were actually still at the 3 of Pentacles building the foundation to one day experience the 10 of Cups. It feels like this is where we are at the Page of Wands. Where we will be is the Emperor later. And I guess if that's the case, then this is the Empress that makes the Page an Emperor. It's her. She doesn't. That's why she's at the bottom of the deck. And he's like, what? You're an Empress? Girl, like, when you asked me to marry you, I didn't know that you came with an entire empire. Hello? I don't know if I signed up for this. But there's a high priestess energy within her that knows that he's fit for the throne. He still has to discover it himself, but she knows that he's the right man for the job. And it's it feels like it's a little bit of an esoteric knowing, but there's also like things that she sees within him as he is where he is today. That's like, okay, yeah, that's why I have this feeling. That's why I have that knowing. And with the 9 of Wands behind that, the 9 of Wands is interesting because I don't know if these wands are so tall that they like break into the atmosphere, or if these like, or if there's been a flood and these wands are in the water with this 9 of Wands card. But There's something about emotionality that needs to be addressed. And I don't know if this is like some kind of trauma of the past or whatever, because behind the Nine of Wands is the Five of Pentacles. And so that's definitely feeling like some kind of avoidance of emotion energy. But that was a warning for the King of Swords, right? I'm actually going to read this Nine of Wands because I'd be interested to see what they say. I'd be interested to see what they say about the Five of Pentacles too. Be prepared, be vigilant. Experience has shown that there is, in this situation, trouble brew. Yeah. I wish I could read. My stung is still tied. Be prepared, be vigilant. Experience has shown that there is, in this situation, trouble brewing. Very likely, this is some sort of ongoing battle or repeating issue or cycle, perhaps on the job, within a social group, or in a relationship. There is weariness in this card, as if you are just tired of fighting the same fight over and over again. Unfortunately, unless something changes, it is a case of same stuff, different day. Advice: be ready to do battle yet again, or find a way to put a stop to the cycle that allows these struggles to continue. And so maybe this is us like getting over it. This is almost Mavis. This reminds me of Mavis from Fairy Tale, which is another anime. And it feels like the water is the Five of Pentacles. Like this is Five of Pentacles energy. And the Nine of Wands is this energy like overcoming the Five of Pentacles. Or it's in a state of mind that it will now do what it needs to do, even if it still feels this energy. It's going to close out the cycle. This is the energy that allows us to go through the same cycles over and over and over again because we never take the opportunity to free ourselves. The Five of Pentacles is the energy of the beggars outside of the church. And it's like, well, if you knock on the door, help is literally right there. But it's something within the self that prevents us from asking for it. And so maybe in some way Empress energy has anticipated our need, because Empress this is what Empress energy sees. And Empress energy is like, one day they're gonna work up the courage to knock on the door and to make their request known. And it's up here. This is where we make the request. I guess when we become, this is interesting because this feels like this is the moment where we actually show that we're emperor material. But it's done out of necessity here. And so it's like, it's almost like a one off thing. It's like when you get so fed up with something that you finally like, you probably snap. But when you finally like say like, no, this is not acceptable, this is not okay. And I'm not gonna tolerate this. And then like after a day, 2 days, 3 days, you go back to being a doormat. And it's like, okay, so healthy boundaries is something that I'm gonna have to just have. Because this is something that continues to happen. Excuse me. But anyway, it feels like this is when we catch the eye of the Empress. This is when it makes sense to the Empress. Because again, like this Empress is carrying a high priestess energy. But it's like the Empress knows who this Page of Wands is supposed to be, but the Empress can't see the Emperor in the Page of Wands until this happens. And then that's when the Empress is like, okay, that's why. And it doesn't necessarily happen when we're completely over it. It doesn't necessarily happen when we're fully outside of it, when we're not affected or impacted at all. It's just when there's enough within us to do what we need to do regardless. Because like you see that scorpionic flood of emotion is still there, even though it's not exclusively scorpionic. But that would be Pisces. I was like, this is Taurus. Opposing Taurus is Scorpio. There we go. Thank you. I had to find the Scorpio somewhere. Not because it's the Scorpion, but it feels scorpionic because of the depth that it holds. But Scorpio was Mars ruled, so. Excuse me. That's what I got. And it's a little bit of fire that takes us where we're going. Just follow the spark. Your empire awaits. All right. I hope you have a good whatever it was. Excuse me. I forgot I woke up super early this morning. But it was lovely to have you in here. Thank you again, Twitty. I hope you all have a wonderful whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. And I will catch you later with the rest of the gifts. Um, there's like 4 more up there. Bye.